think this is fine. Hi Sumit Kumar, Deepti, Krishi, how are you? So मैं बीच बीच में नीचे देखूंगी क्योंकि कमेंट्स देखने के लिए थोड़ा नीचे देखना पड़ेगा. I'm going live from my phone, so it won't be possible for me to see the comments there. So, hi Madhu. So you guys have any question, you can write here. And before that, I want to thank each and every one of you. I hope I'm audible. If yes, can you please write in comments. Okay, thank you so much. Yeah, so first of all, thank you so much to each one of you who have subscribed to the channel and made this family 50,000 plus. And my journey had started last year, somewhere end of June or beginning of August. And I feel blessed कि, in 1 year's time, I have reached 50K subscribers, and that is all because of your support. Okay. Okay, Tripti, you're asking how to teach 3 years old children step by step. See, for that, I think I have already made a video how to start teaching your child. I think that was particularly for reading and writing का भी मैंने already पहले बनाया है. And if you want कि उसके लिए specifically 3 years old child के लिए अगर आप देखेंगे जो मैंने syllabus के लिए explain किया है उसमें भी बोला है. But if you want separately only for 3-year-old child, yes, I will make a video about that. But basic thing I will tell you right now, Tripti, how you have to start is if your child is first you need to check your child is ready or not to study. That can be reading and writing both, and you have to prepare your child for that. So when your child is 3 years old, or that we suppose that the child will start going to nursery, and at that time the child should have a very nice grip, because as soon as we start sending the child to school, they will have to do the writing work, because as per the syllabus, classes will go on and the child will not have any other option but to write. So make sure the child's hand and fine motors are developed very well. Those things you can do at home by giving fine motor related activities to the child. And second thing is, as a 3 years old child, the child should be ready or should be able to recognize colors and shapes, basic colors like red, yellow, green, blue, pink, white, black, these colors. Then you should the child should know basic shapes like circle, triangle, square or rectangle, anything, because छोटे बच्चे उसमें थोड़ा confused रहते हैं. और then counting 1 to 5 or 10, and counting not only counting, just rote counting, identifying the objects and counting the objects. And same thing in ABCD, like children should know ABCD. As a 3-year-old child, if the child can just say A to Z, and if you show some alphabet and child can recognize, that is also enough. But if you are saying that, if you are teaching at home, Tripti, I just want to be clear, if you are trying to teach at home and then you are asking how to do this step by step, yes, for that I can make another video completely for 3-year-old child, explaining how you can prepare for the school, or how the nursery should be done if you're doing it at home. Okay, Deepti wants to know more about preschool apps. Yeah, I will find those apps, and like I have shared this for CVC words and all. I have seen few apps, but I have to go through that and then I will share with you. I will see how helpful these are. Arshia, hello. Meera Pal. Hello. So, I was talking about my channel. How I started this is same thing as Tripti. You are asking me how to teach a child, a 3-year-old child. Similarly, when my elder son, he's 7 years old now, he started going for school. So there were so many things I didn't know about, because when we studied, that was long back, and when I saw him studying, and the things they had changed a lot. So I, as a parent, I felt, I don't know anything about how these days the children are being taught in the school. Then I myself had started teaching. Then I learned a lot, and through this channel I wanted to share with you, all of you who are, feel that they are lacking somewhere, and they should know few things, and it's necessary to know, and we have to keep up with the time, like how these things are, being taught in the school these days. These are not same as we have learned. And hi Priya. So my main motive of starting this channel was to help the parents and maybe new teachers who have just started teaching, and somewhere they feel lost. So my main motive was to help parents and teachers. um, Okay, Dipti is asking how she can teach her child Hindi, and her child is 5 years old. He also have problems similar words like b and writes all number in mirror image. Okay, this is quite common, but uh, for mirror image, I have already made a video. I have explained that how you can make b and make child understand. So it's very simple. First you have to make sure the child gets the orientation, like b and d will be like this only. If you write like this b, if you write like this d, so make the child understand. If you're writing b, which hand is there, which side you see the loop, and if you're writing d, which side is the loop. So whenever a child is writing, suppose child has to write bat, or simply he's writing b, so make him understand b is your left hand, and so look at your left hand, how it is formed. So like this you have to write b. If the child is learning print, and if the child is learning cursive, there should not be any issue, because in cursive there are very few alphabets which will, child will do mirror imaging. It happens only in the print maximum time. And yes, in the numbers, like 6 the child will make other side, 3 also it'll, child will make e. So I have given few activities and worksheets in that video, so I'll suggest Deepti, if you'll refer to that, that will help you. Other thing, you are asking how I'll teach my child Hindi. Yes, if you are not speaking Hindi at home, and it's not your mother tongue, and this is a new language for the child, it will be very difficult. And I'm not sure if you are a Hindi speaking person. So in that way you have to, maybe you can, relate with English. I'm sure your child will know English, so you can relate things with English, and then tell the child, see, like this we have in English, same thing in Hindi you can tell the child, like apple, save. So small things you can start telling. And even in writing obviously will be very different from English, but sounds are same, like then e, oo. So those things you can, start relating with Hindi and English, and try to build his interest. Okay, Arsha is asking, help me with show and tell activities for 4 years old. Okay, 4 years old, show and tell, like in particular you have any subject in mind, or any topic you have for that you are asking, or in general, nowadays I don't know how this is happening on the online classes, but generally what happens, and online classes actually it's quicker than it used to happen in the school. Like child is sitting and teacher can ask anything, get this and talk about it. So show and tell for letters. Okay, so if the teacher is asking to do show and tell for letters, yes, it's quite easy. Um, suppose the teacher has asked for D, D. I don't know, in your child's school they are teaching alphabets, names or sounds. So suppose the teacher has asked for D. So tell your child, with D, pick up any object and talk about it. Like if the child has a toy dog or the child has a toy drum, so the child can talk about it. Like this is D for drum, it makes the sound da 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 da, or this is D for dog, or it makes the sound bow bow. So all these things, and talk about the color of the dog or color of the drum, sorry. So I don't think more than that from a 4 years child they'll expect. And what else for only alphabets? Any other things child can say, okay, this is D for dog, and these so many words are also from D for dog or from the sound D. Okay. uh, Hi Jansi, and how to teach colors, ma'am? Okay, colors. How old is your child? Colors teaching is very easy. That's the easiest thing you can do, and you don't have to particularly show, color and do it. All around, a child can see colors. Okay, for 3 years old. So, yeah, all around the child can see color. So it's very easy. You can just, everything has color. And if you are teaching uh, colors like basic colors or primary colors, so anything you pick up from around and just talk about the color. Okay, देखिए ये आपकी डॉल पिंक कलर की है, या फिर आपकी ये शर्ट ब्लू कलर की है, आपका फ्रॉक ये ऑरेंज कलर का है, आप उसको कपड़े पहना रहे हैं, दैट टाइम यू कैन से ओके कौन सा कलर पहनना है, ये ऑरेंज है, ये पिंक है, इनमें से कौन सा पहनना है. सो एवरीथिंग हैज़ अ कलर एंड यू कैन जस्ट टॉक अबाउट द कलर्स. And if you have any issue, like my daughter has issue, she does not recognize all the colors. She can separate the colors, but she cannot name all the colors correctly at the first go. Few colors she is very quick, but few colors she cannot. And if you have such issues, yes, then in that case, first you have to identify, is the problem the child is not able to recognize the color, or the child is not able to name the colors, or separate the colors. So that you can do, like if the child is having many blocks or any other toys, keep them together and take one particular color and keep that aside and ask the child if you can separate same color things and keep them aside. So if your child can separate or segregate those colors, it means your child can recognize the color. The problem is only that he or she is not able to name it correctly. That can happen slowly. By 4 years your child should be able to do that. Yeah, that's right, Tanya Roy. The child can even, you just show a color and you can ask the child to go around the room or house and get that particular color things. Like if you're showing a yellow color and ask whatever he or she can see yellow in color, just get that. What are the competition can we conduct in EVS subject, ma'am? At this age, I don't think you need to have any competition. You can just encourage the child to talk about something, or just check their understanding and make them to learn by themselves. So I don't think you should be having a competition at this age. You can just make the child, okay, this is the particular topic, why don't you find out of, something about this, or talk about this, or draw about this. I think those skills you have to develop instead of competition. मैम रीडिंग स्किल्स कैसे बढ़ाएं? पंकज सिन्हा जी, रीडिंग स्किल्स के लिए मैंने ऑलरेडी एक वीडियो बनाया है, आप वो देख सकते हैं. देर आर फ्यू स्टेप्स, and the best part will be if you can make your child sit for at least 10 to 15 minutes, maximum 15 minutes every day, and child can read. That can be, you can start with very small sentences, like if your child already knows CVC words and blends and digraphs and all that, and you can, and sight words, so you can just start with very small sentences every day, 10 to 15 minutes, and child will start reading those, because more he or she will see the alphabets, or sorry, the words, more he will be able to remember, and he will become fast also. So the practice is the main thing in reading. Yes, Usha Kumari. Yeah, that's the main concern these days. In lockdown, it's very difficult for children to sit and read or study, because they are throughout the day they are at home. They don't have any particular activities outside, or they are not able to meet their friends. There is no way to socialize, so it is very difficult. But you have to make a routine for your child. From this time to this time you have to sit and study, and that time if you feel your child is not having interest, you have to sit with the child. You have to demonstrate, or you can say you have to model, and you have to support the child. You just show little work, as you can say, okay, today right now we will do only this much of work, and next time again, maybe in a day you can sit 2 times or 3 times. And slowly you have to have that habit, that every day 10 minutes we have to sit and read this, or in the evening again 10 minutes we will sit and write. Or if your child is very small, like 3 years or 3.5 years, and only nursery going child, then you don't have to make the child sit for 10-15 minutes. Whenever the child is playing, play with the child, and in that play only, you whatever you want the child to learn, do that time only. इंग्लिश वर्ड रिटन करना कैसे सिखाएं? ओके, writing is again, once your child can read, it will be easier for the child to write also. So what you can start, you if your child knows ABCD, start with the blends, blend the sounds, and make the child read CVC words. And when the child knows this is the word, this is the meaning of that, it will be much easier for the child to write. And you just encourage the child, just write a sentence, write few words, and appreciate the child a little. And you can just say, okay, wow, you can write so much, see whatever it's written here, you can also write. And encouragement, positive feedback will really work with the child. I am not sure what is the age of your child, if you are saying that written word kaise sikhaye. Okay, if you're saying written word, I assume your child is 3.5 to 4 years, because that is the time when the children will start writing CVC words, or two-letter words, or sight words. So at that time, you first make the child read. Then in the 4-line notebook, you make the dotted words, and then ask the child to trace them, read them and trace them. Then you can give an activity where you have written the word, just like a slip you make or a flashcard you make, and show the child, this is the word, can you write it yourself? So अगर बच्चा उसको देख के भी लिखता है, it's fine, so, because उससे बच्चे की practice हो रही है. And slowly you can move to little bit of dictation kind of writing, and then move to sentences. Okay, Tamil Selvi is saying, my children broke the color crayon and tore the paper and chewed the. What can I do for this? Okay, I'm not sure how old is your child. It'll be nice if you are asking such thing. You can just write what is the age of the child. So the thing is, if your child is not interested and he's behaving this way, first you have to address that, and you have to, think why the child is doing that way, or what you can find the different ways. And if the child is not ready with the, for writing, first you have to find what is child's interest. Not necessarily if you give crayon and paper and the child will start writing. So maybe you can do, like, tracing over the paper with finger tracing, tracing in the air, tracing on the back. Or you can, you have atta at home, you can use that. Or you can use rice also, keep some rice in the plate and make the child to do that. So it's fun activity for child, and child can write also. So slowly the child will learn the formation, and you can model in front of your child, like you yourself is writing, and you are making alphabets, big alphabets on the paper, and you are saying, wow, do you want to try this? Or maybe you don't even say anything, you sit in front of the child and you start writing on the paper. Slowly the child will get interest in that, because children will not do the things when you will ask them to do the things. They will try to imitate you, and they will see, if just for example, if you are eating something, they will look at you and they want to eat that. Or if you will tell them, okay, eat, this is very nice, they might not eat it. So same thing, you try different strategies if your child is a little difficult to convince for writing. So as Tanya is saying, yeah, sand tray also you can try. Like that I said, salt, rice, anything whatever you have at home, so you can try with that. And you can make your homemade play-doh with atta, so you can mix little food color, so it'll be colorful, and make alphabets with that. So that will be very interesting for the child, and he and she will be interested in the alphabets, and slowly the child will start writing. Then we have एलिश सिद्धू, मेरी बच्ची बोलती बहुत है पर लिखती नहीं है, कैसे कन्विंस करें? यस, जैसे मैंने अभी बोला, आपको कन्विंस करने के लिए थोड़ा सा उसको मॉडल करना पड़ेगा, और उसको ये बोलने की बजाय कि चलो बैठ के लिखो, आपको खेल खेल में उसको कराना शुरू करना पड़ेगा। और या लिखने के लिए अगर आपका बच्चा 2.5 है, 3 है, 3.5 है, I have got a really nice book. I'll make a video on that shortly, and maybe by Monday I'll put it on. So you check that book, and because my daughter, she also doesn't like to sit and write on anything. If I tell her, she will not write. So but that book is so attractive for her, she will sit and she will ask for it, and she will say, I want to write, give me this. So I'll share that with you. Okay, Dipti is saying, I'm homeschooling my child. Though I am a former teacher, I'm facing a lot of problem while teaching my own child. Hope this channel helps me. Okay, thank you so much. That's my, main motive, that parents should get help. When we start to write cursive, okay, Tamil Selvi, when we write to start cursive has to be after the child knows capital or uppercase alphabets. And that is, don't start before 4 years, because by the time child's fine motors will be developed. And because in capital you have mostly straight slant lines and little bit of curves and all that, but in cursive writing you have a lot of curves. So there you need little more finer motor skills. So there the child should be comfortable with the moving the pencil, so that should happen by 4 years. And when you start with those what do you say, first strokes, and then you slowly teach these alphabets also. When to start phonics age wise? Rakhi, we don't have particular age. What you can do is, after you can start from very beginning also. When you start from the age of 1.5 also, that doesn't mean that you have to tell your child this is a, this is b. Only thing is, what you have to do is read books in front of your child, make your child sit with you, put finger on each and every word, and while reading the books, whatever sound you want, that Okay, you can hear now? Is it clear? Okay, fine. So I lost it. I was talking about. Okay, writing cursive. Yeah, writing cursive will be once your child is 4 years old. That should be the right age for your child to start, because by the time your child will be in LKG. Yeah. So I gave a lot of worksheet, but bored how to make them interest. If your child is not interested in worksheet, please don't give the worksheet, because worksheet should not be like, you dump so many worksheet and your child will, run away from that. A 3-year-old child will not like to work too much, will not able to, it will be very tiring and boring for the child to write. So try to find, am I clear now? Somebody's saying voice. You can hear me? Okay, so don't give too many worksheets. In a day, if you give one worksheet and your child can sit for 5 to 10 minutes, that is more than enough. You can do a lot of other activities. If you have a small whiteboard or a small blackboard or a slate, or just give a notebook to scribble, that should be more than enough. So don't give too many worksheets, because child will not find that interesting and will start running away from that. Okay. Not okay, fine. So I feel there are no more questions, so we can wind up. And shortly I will share another video where I will show you the book which I've started using for my daughter. She's also just turned 3 years this month, and yeah, okay. Rakhi, my kid is 3.5 years now. What is the best way, alphabetical or set pin? Okay, see, it depends. If your child is going to school, how they are following? They are going alphabetical, or they are going by the sets of Jolly Phonics. But what I feel personally, if your child's grasping power is really good, so you should start with Jolly Phonics set 1. Reason being, as soon as you do these alphabets or the letter sounds, you can start teaching them blending also, and your child will start reading the words faster than when you first finish A to Z and then you start teaching CVC words and blending. So if you're teaching yourself at home and you have that liberty, you can choose yourself, then please go with the Jolly Phonics sets, set 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. By the time your child will finish set 7, will be fluent in reading. Okay. uh, I'm teaching reading to my child CVC words. Please tell me activity to develop her interest in reading. Okay, for activities, yes, Nabil Muhammad, I will share a video, because there are lots of activities for CVC words which you can do, and you can teach like a game to the child. So yes, I will share those activities with you. Okay, thank you, Rakhi. Good to know that your doubts are clear. Okay, I feel there are no more questions, so we can wind up. And yeah. Okay, so thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much for your support and making this channel reach 50K. And our next aim is, our next milestone is reaching 100K. So I need your support, and please stay tuned. Okay, Rehan Hamid is asking, my child weeps so much during study time. He is 3.5. Okay. That's very common because in class they don't get to cry so much because there are so many other children, and they'll look at each other and maybe they'll feel I'm the only one who's crying, and they'll stop crying, or they may not even cry when a teacher is asking to study. But at home, yes, the child will cry. The child will try all the tactics not to do the work. So that is very common. When it happens with me also, my son used to do that. Whenever I will tell him to sit and write, he will start crying. So I had to be firm. I will not scream at him. I will not say anything. I'll just sit there and I'll say, you have to finish this work. After that, we'll go and play. So what I will suggest, you have to make it very clear to the child that these 10 minutes you have to sit and you have to write, or you have to study. That should not be like you're screaming at the child, or you are scolding the child, and you're beating the child. So those things should not happen. Only thing is, stay calm. You stay calm and tell the child very calmly, let's finish this, after that we will study. So till the time we are not finishing, we are not going anywhere. I will also sit with you. I will help you in finishing your work. I will tell you how to do it. So you have to convince the child that way very nicely, and at the same time you have to make it very clear that you have to do the work. There is no other option. Okay, what to introduce a 3-year-old? See, what you introduce based on the school and how it's happening in schools, and because we have to keep up with that, and obviously one fine day we will start going to back to the school, and children have to go back to the school. So I will suggest, I have made a video for nursery syllabus, which will cover everything, how when the child is starting at the beginning of the school, what is taught to them, how is taught to them. So I'll suggest, if you go through that video, most of your doubts will be cleared. Yes, Nabil, that's absolutely right. Once they'll get used to it, when they know their routine, they will sit and study. And after 1 week, you will see a lot of difference. Child will stop doing these tantrums when the child knows very clearly that he or she has to sit and study from this time to this time. So having that particular time, 10-15 minutes in the morning or afternoon or in the evening, is very important. Yes, when you are sitting with the child, make sure timing is very important. Why I'm saying is that as soon as the child wakes up in the morning and finishes the breakfast, you should not tell, okay, now you have done this, sit and study. Or in the afternoon, during just around 12:30, 1 o'clock, at that time child will feel very lazy and sleepy. And again, just before going to sleep, that time you can read bedtime stories, but you cannot ask the child to sit and study. So those things you have to be very careful. Choose a time like around 10:30, when child has woken up and done the daily routine, morning routines, and then you sit with the child. Or in the evening around 5:30. So though, that is the time when child has energy and can sit and can concentrate. Okay, you haven't and my questions. Happy mother, happy kids. I have not answered your question. I think you asked what to introduce to 3 years old, and for that I'll suggest, if you can see my video where I have explained the syllabus for nursery, because that is for 3 years old child. So in that you will understand how you have to start and what you have to start for a 3-year-old child. And as I think you had not joined before that, also I had got this question, how to start teaching your child, a 3-year-old child, step by step. So for that I have already informed, I will make a video for that. There are quite a few videos on my channel. If you refer that, your question will be answered. But shortly I'll make another video where for only for 3-year-old child, how you can start and what you can start. So I think, thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone. It's time to wind up. I will see you next time. I'm not very sure. I don't want to promise again that I will be online next week. because I have schoolwork as well as I have two children, so quite a lot, I have to cover up. So let's see. I will update on the community tab where you can see, and you will be informed when I'm coming live next time. And during or before that also, if you have any queries or questions, you can put it on in the comment box, so I'll be able to answer those. Yes, Deepti, I have already put syllabus for nursery, LKG, UKG, and grade 1. So these four classes I have already covered. If you go through my videos, you will be able to see that. And that was, I think, beginning of the year, somewhere in Feb or March, I had put it. So you can go through that. Okay, thank you so much, guys. And bye bye. See you soon.